Good afternoon. We're reviewing a 2018 Beneteau Sense 51. Lots of open deck space on the boat. You can see the teak decks and a considerable amount of ventilation. Moving forward, you can see the extended bowsprit, which can be the tack point for an asymmetric spinnaker, and easy access to the anchor locker. And panning back, you can note the custom light gray paint job with custom boot top and waterline stripe. All the hatches have custom covers on them that are opaque. They let lots of light in, but you don't have to deal with crazing of the hatches due to sunlight. Again, you can see the custom Dodger with solar panels, the bridge over the Bimini, again with more solar panels, providing adequate power and lots of visibility from the boat. Filming from the stern, rather unique to the boat is the custom transom, which will fold open and closed hydraulically, providing an oversized and easily accessible swim ladder for the boat. When the swim ladder is down, if the boat is backed in, you have both access to a swim ladder, but you can step aboard very easily from the dock. Easy to step aboard, one step up and you're at the cockpit level. You'll notice she has dual helm stations with significant instrumentation at each one. The starboard helm station provides engine controls. It's actually where the water connects, but you have a B&G display, and this boat has been connected to the NEMA network so that engine data comes up, electrical data comes up, and fuel data comes up, and is available to the helmsman at any time. Moving across, there is a remote anchor chain controller. Also available from the starboard helm station, there are 3 switches. The one on the left turns on the water washdown system. The middle one turns on some additional cockpit lighting, and the right-hand switch operates the lift for the table. A Triton multi-display helps augment the handling, and a dedicated autopilot display. Above that is the bow thruster controls, a standard compass. Engine controls are easily accessed at a comfortable height, and you have excellent visibility forward. Access to both of the winches on the starboard side. All 4 winches in the cockpit are electric with push-button controls, and all the lines for the boat are led aft through sheet stoppers, and all the lines stow in the bins, as you can see. The snaps that you see along the side of the cockpit both hold the cushions in place, but there are separate line bags that can be used to be snapped up there and hold all the lines if you're in a more of an open sailing mode or a racing mode where you want access to your lines but you don't want them in your way. Looking forward around the cockpit, there's large glass openings that keep you connected to the inside of the boat, and you can note the opening hatch so that if somebody's down below, they don't lose contact with everybody up in the cockpit. Moving across is another hatch, and then the custom Dodger from inside, solid plexiglass panels on the side, a removable panel in the front with excellent visibility all around. An outstanding feature of the boat is a sliding Bimini, which can open and shut, and when it's closed, you get shade throughout the entire boat. And it should be noted that the stainless supports for the Bimini are outstanding handholds when you're at sea. There's no problem at all with this boat getting a good handhold anywhere, whether you're moving around the cockpit or on deck. The cockpit table will electrically raise and lower You can raise it up to a height for dining. You can lower it down to a cocktail level, or as you can see in a moment, it will open up and you can drop it all the way down, put a cushion in the middle, and the whole area here that's now a settee can make up as a day bed or playpen. So now you can see the table is fully extended and is lowering down into the position that makes this into a bed that can be used for just casual relaxing, or people may want to sleep out here during the warmer months. An added benefit is the ability to add additional seating around the main table with a fold down seat, and a cushion goes in its place, and a second table lifts up, which you can use as a buffet for feeding folks, or you can actually feed more people sitting at the port side of the cockpit. Folding the table is quick and simple. The main leaf folds over and it pivots shut. The table is all teak and is finished with several coats of mahogany epoxy varnish and clear LP so that it is UV resistant. At the port side under the step is the plug for the 50 amp 115 240 volt and a cable TV plug-in. Moving up onto the helm station, there is a control for the transom light. There is an underwater light. On the right hand side is a control for the tailgate up and down, and in the middle is a propane switch for the grill. A special feature on the Beneteau Sense 51 is with the solid helm stations. On the starboard side, the seat lifts up and converts to a propane grill, and on the port side, the seat lifts up and there is a full sink with hot and cold water and cup holders. So if you were to do any fishing, you could catch a fish, you could clean a fish, and you could cook a fish and would never have to take it below. Little extra benefit is all of the stainless steel lifelines have been replaced with Dyneema at all the boarding gates across the boat, so that it's easier to manage them and you don't have the spaghetti of stainless wire. At each helm station there is a step which aids in coming up on deck. As soon as you're up on deck, the supports for the bimini provide excellent handhold while you're moving forward, also extending onto the Dodger itself, and then handholds all the way up the length of the cabin top. Deck organizers bring all the lines on both sides aft. The boat's got a solid boom vang, which is nice. It eliminates the need for a topping lift. And if you'll notice at the clew of the sail, there is an extra line coming off. That's so the leech line can be run all the way back into the cockpit and help handle adjustments which otherwise are very challenging. There's a very generous foredeck area. It'll easily accommodate a 10 or 11 foot inflatable dinghy, and there are extra iPads provided so that it can be secured. Moving forward, roller furling mechanism, line bags for jib sheets, and they can also serve for dock lines. And it also has easy access to the anchor locker, where there is a 40-pound QCR or a CQR anchor on a Manta swivel, extra heavy duty. The windlass is controlled from the cockpit via the remote control, or there is a wired handheld unit right down inside the well here. There's 250 feet of half-inch chain and some additional rods, as well as snubber for the anchor system. Moving back amidships for a moment, you can see that there's an adjustable Genoa track for each Genoa sheet, and the boat has in-mast furling and a backup furling winch at the mast should anything fail with the furling line. It should also be noted that there are canvas covers for all the winches, the table, and the helm stations. And going below, wanted to take a moment to focus on the unique entry door on the Sense 51. It's a trifold door with a lifting hatch. So the hatch lifts up and pushes back, and each of the trifolds comes out, doubles back on itself, and so when it's folded, it's stowed out of the way with a convenient latch to use to hold the door when underway. Moving below, perhaps one of the greatest advantages of the Sense 51 is only 3 steps to go from the cockpit level into the Salon. Starting with just a quick pan, you can see the navigation station. Behind the navigation desk, you can see the first half of the electrical management system. There's a comprehensive battery management and monitoring system. Below that is the inverter charger control panel. Next to the electrical management is the generator start-stop button. Below that are GFCI breakers for the AC power outlets on the boat. And on the far right are the 110 main power panels for both the air conditioning system and the house battery. They can both be run off shore power or generator power. Below that is the primary handheld radio controller. On the right-hand side of the electrical management panel is the main switch panel. At the extreme left side, you see all of the AC breakers. At the right side, you see all of the DC breakers for all of the routine DC electronics. The center display is a custom implementation using a Cymarine system, which provides backup monitoring of the house battery, but also provides monitoring of the thruster battery bank, fuel tanks, water tanks, holding tanks, and detailed status on the solar panel performance. On the column to the right, the silver panel is the selector switch for the air conditioning and heating, and the 2 dials below that are the controls and monitor for the backup 2000 watt inverter. Sweeping across to the settee, the table, which opens up and electrically raises and lowers. Coming around, you see the passageway forward, good handholds throughout the boat. And now the island, which is an excellent serving platform, but you'll also see that a television comes up out of there for entertainment. And then sweeping across to the galley, a custom stainless sink. Moving across to a cutting board with a custom GNE space oven, one of the most efficient propane ovens you can put on a boat like this. Refrigeration accessible from below and above, and a freezer beyond that. A particular note is all the drawer space, the storage space that's in the boat, and much of this has been custom done to replace either open compartments or shelves that were in the original boat. The goal is to maximize accessible space with the simple opening of a drawer rather than having to get down on your hands and knees and reach into a deep space. When entertaining, it's nice to note that the oven and cooktop can be completely concealed behind the cooktop on the top and the door that slides shut on the bottom. When the door is opened, it also provides access to an additional cutting board, which is available when you're in the prep mode. The second cutting board on top simply lifts up, hinges back out of the way, and stays out of the way so that the fully gimbaled stove is accessible in port or underway. The original boat came with 2 small Corian sinks, and those have since been replaced with a custom stainless steel sink. The sink accessories include a reverse osmosis water faucet, a soap dispenser, a pull-out faucet, which was not one of the original fixtures, and a saltwater rinse down that can be used that's an electric saltwater rinse. Another feature is the roll-out mat that can be used in the sink for drying or laying articles up here that you want to drip into the sink. Additionally, a custom-made cutting board fits in place so that chopping can be done and discards can go right into the sink. It's a French-built boat, and as all good things French, there should be wine accessible. In the floor of the boat is a very handy wine locker that is low in the boat and keeps things cool. From the Salon area, a television raises up so that you have great viewing from any seat in the settee. There's room for a 32-inch flat screen TV and additional room underneath for all the additional electronics such as Apple TV. And just like outside, the table in the settee raises and lowers electrically, so it can go from the height of a cocktail table up to a full dining table. It opens out, and as in the cockpit table, it'll drop all the way down and make up into an additional bed. Supplementing the seating at the dining table is a fold-down seat that comes out of the island and a backrest that provides added comfort for folks who are sitting there. All told, you can sit 8 people comfortably. Moving from the galley in the settee, we'll move down the hallway and come into the office area where you can see it's a custom-built office. Again, lots of storage up above the counters, excellent desk space, and a unique feature is a built-in, easily accessible washer and dryer. The space is closed off with a sliding door that doesn't protrude into the hallway when not in use, but does provide privacy for somebody who wants to work in the office. Across the hall is the guest head with its own full shower that comes across and separates the head from the shower, the head and sink. Again, adequate storage space and a door which provides direct access to the VIP suite, so they have their own private head when you have guests aboard. And as we go into the VIP suite, you can see there is lots of storage for the queen size berth. Lots of light coming in and wonderful ventilation through 2 skylights. And direct access from the guest suite into the guest bathroom and shower. One element of note about the VIP suite, to facilitate better weight and balance in the boat, 840 amp hours of Lifeline batteries have been placed under the bed. They're accessible under the mattress, but in the event of an emergency, at the foot of the mast is an emergency shutoff switch which will completely isolate the entire house bank with the flip of a switch. Moving down the hall into the master, you can see, again, very well lit, lots of ventilation, 2 very large hatches. Again, lots of storage. Reading lamps for each person at the head of the bed. And again, additional storage. When addressing storage in the master, it should also be noted that there are 2 slide-out drawers underneath the bed. You can see the 32-inch television that's available for the master suite. And moving to the master bath, again, privacy door with ventilation ports at the top and the bottom to allow for better airflow and reduce condensation in the head. There is a full-size shower, sink, and toilet facility. All of the heads on the boat are freshwater flush and electric macerators. There is a medicine cabinet behind both of the mirrors, which provides a lot of additional storage. There is a fire extinguisher in this room, as there are in every single compartment on the boat. Each one of the hatches on the boat has individual screens. So there is a bug screen and a privacy screen. And as I said, these are on every single hatch on the opening hatch on the boat. Swinging, you'll see the hatch grips so the floorboards can be picked up. These were not part of the original boat, and they were extremely difficult to lift the floorboards. These have been placed strategically throughout the boat to facilitate access to the bilges and equipment located in the bilges. One final note to end our tour is privacy on the boat. All of the main windows in the Salon have closing shades that provide light without and yet privacy. And again, at the rear of the cockpit, sliding shades that provide that added privacy at the dock or at anchor. And all of the lower windows do have curtains that slide forward, as well as curtains in all windows in the bath, the office, and the guest suites. And with that, we'd like to conclude our tour, and thank you for joining us today as we reviewed Valhalla, the 2018 Beneteau Sense 51.